Hey everyone, this is Fonta Joe. Been playing a little bit of Balatro lately, and I've got this run going. I started this run 18 days ago, and I thought it would be appropriate to explain what's going on here. You know, like why do I have 94 jokers? What's going on with these taros? Stuff like that. Why are there 3 Jimbos? What's going on? Okay, so first things first, I want to show the mods that I've been using. They're all just quality of life mods, so this run is still possible without them, but they do help a lot. First, we have a Saturn mod. This is by Ocean Ramen and a few others. This allows me to remove animations from the game. I also have 2 mods by Stupid. We got the Cartomancer mod and the Brainstorm mod. The Cartomancer mod, I think that's over here. This allows you to alter the appearance of some aspects of the game. This is really helpful for things like this Joker zoom thing. It also lets you slim down the deck and also remove the double tags for like lag purposes and stuff. Then there's the Brainstorm mod. This helps you find seeds with like specific criteria. So like starting with a Perkeo and an Anti-1. So technically this is a seeded run, but I did find the seed through the Brainstorm mod, so it did help. And with this being a seeded run, I'm not going to try to claim anything as a world record, not just because it's seeded, but also because I decided at the beginning to not record the entirety of the run. You know, mainly, I just don't want to have to deal with hundreds of hours of video footage and then organizing it all and then posting it all. You know, just sounds terrible to me. So, but there is another reason as to why this would be barred from leaderboards, and it doesn't have to do with that. I'm going to get into that later. Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the run. So it started with Perkeo in the first anti, and then from anti 1 until anti 13, the main focus was copying taros in the consumable area. And so if you didn't know, if you have a tarot card, let's say you got the Hermit, the game is going to block the Hermit from showing up anywhere in the shop. It also blocks it from being created by the Emperor. And so if you just happen to have all of the tarot cards, except for a few, you can create a situation where the Emperor only has 2 cards it can generate. If one of those 2 cards is a Fool, then you can basically create this indefinite loop where the Emperor gives you a Fool, and then it gives you another card. And then you can use the Fool to give you back the Emperor, and then you just have the other card left over. So I've seen people use this loop with Temperance, which would give you a lot of money, or you could also do this trick with a Judgment card, which would give you a lot of jokers. So in case you didn't know, there's a 1 in 333 chance for any joker to be negative. And so in theory, if you do this tarot looping enough times, if you generate enough Judgment cards, you will eventually generate a negative version of every single joker. Now, I'm more than happy to discuss the efficacy of this trick. You know, some people, I think, rightfully think it's cheating. Myself, though, I think it's just kind of taking creative advantage of the game's mechanics. This exact trick actually bars the run from leaderboards, though in my opinion, if I were to have recorded this entire run, I don't see why it should be barred. But either way, this is the main source of the magic. So I think I might be the first person to do this, like the tarot looping until you have all of the jokers, though others have used very similar tricks, notably the amazing and epic run by DrDreamo. I gotta give credit. I'm gonna leave a link to his playlist in the description if you have like 300 hours to kill. It's a great watch. Okay, so let's talk about why I'm doing all this. It's not just to get a bunch of jokers, though I think it is pretty cool to get a bunch of jokers, but it's not worth this kind of a grind. Instead, I'm trying to generate a massive amount of double tags. Something in the ballpark of like 1,000 double tags. The plan is to eventually generate all of the uncommon jokers in the shop, minus Diet Cola. So whenever the game makes an uncommon joker, whether in the shop or from a Judgment card, it is guaranteed to give me a cola, which then you can sell for the double tag. In order to do this, I've been repeating this loop a lot of times, like a lot of times. Let me see if there's my fortune teller. It's just hit 80,000. Yeah, this is a very slow process, but slowly, generating all of the negative jokers. Recently, I just finished the common joker collection, so I actually decided to sell the negative Chaos the Clown, so that when Judgment gives me a common joker, it guarantees Chaos, which guarantees a free reroll, and that allows me to see jokers a little bit faster. But because I'm really just in the market for negative uncommons, it's still extremely slow. So you're asking, why do I want so many double tags? Well, there's these things called negative tags. These are pretty cool. So if you have, let's say I have 1,000 double tags, and then I skipped this round for the negative tag, you'd be guaranteed 1,001 random negative jokers. But like I said earlier, I don't really care about just getting a ton of jokers. I want the important jokers, like the blueprints and the brainstorms. So as it turns out, if you skip for a negative and then immediately after skip for a rare joker, you'd be guaranteed a negative rare joker. So plan is get 1,000 or so negative tags and then play the game as usual for a bit, and then an ante 16, as I've looked ahead because this is a seeded run, there's a rare tag, and so I'm gonna then generate about 1,000 more double tags, skip for the rare tag, and that should give me 1,000 negative rare jokers, which should result in about 100 blueprints or brainstorms. And that's it. That's what I've got for you so far. There's a lot of really wacky things that you can do with that many copy jokers, so stick around. I'm going to be making more videos when things start to get pretty interesting. But for now, I've got a few dozen more hours to spend on the boring stuff. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll see you guys later.